This video contains major spoilers for Persona 5 Royal. The 5th card in the tarot deck. Number 4, the Emperor. It represents masculinity, order, and authority. It is paired with the Empress, and together with her, he is the 4th person the Fool meets on his journey. In the Persona series, the Emperor is typically associated with a male friend who is looking to establish themselves as a strong, sometimes even masculine figure in their respective game. And that is no different for Persona 5. The Emperor Arcana is that of Yusuke Kitagawa. I'm Ouroboros. Let's talk. If you missed my video on the Fool's Journey, I would recommend that you watch it before jumping into this series. It goes over the Fool's Journey and gives a brief rundown of each of the major arcana, so go check it out. Anyway, like I said earlier, the Emperor Arcana typically reflects a male character who is looking to establish themselves and find their own identity. In tarot cards, the Emperor is associated with many things, but the most prominent is that of structure. He is the orderly authority figure that the Fool needs in order to gain an understanding of discipline. The calm, nurturing parental duties are relegated to the Empress. The two serve as a sort of good cop, bad cop duo. His duty is to provide stability and order through the rules and systems that he creates. However, as any good ruler understands, his goal is to serve the people and impart knowledge, rather than bask in his superiority. The Emperor is often depicted holding a scepter and orb, two of the most iconic symbols of royalty. The former is a symbol of his right to rule as sovereign of the people, and the latter, a symbol of those people. He also frequently has a beard, representative of the lifetime of experiences and wealth of wisdom that he has since accumulated. Where the Empress rules with calming kindness, the Emperor rules with calculated strength. Yusuke takes on these qualities, but not necessarily in ways that you might expect. For one, he does not exhibit traditionally masculine qualities. As an artist, he's obsessed with all things beauty. He's eccentric, bordering on socially inept. So, how does he fall into the Emperor Arcana? Ironically, it's because of the very thing he fought against: structure. This was always going to be an inherently difficult confidant for Persona 5. The game is about rebellion and freedom, but much like the main story, I think it's impossible to talk about Yusuke without mentioning his former mentor, Madarame. Madarame represents the Emperor taken to its corrupt extreme. He became the ruler of the art world. He's a tyrannical, ruthless, domineering superior. Any who cross his path are shunned and essentially exiled from the art world. And that is exactly what Yusuke decides to fight. Yusuke even says that he wanted so hard to believe the rumors weren't true, and that he clouded his own vision. His awakening is him rebelling against that overbearing father figure in his life. His awakening is him filling the shoes of what he wants masculinity and order to look like. That's what he struggled with for so long. He was complacent to fall in line under Madarame because, at that point, he legitimately believed that Madarame saved him. And I think that's something we can all relate to some extent. We can hear bad things about a person from other people, but if they've always been nice to us or treated us with respect, it's a hard pill to swallow. Yusuke was obviously upset with Madarame stealing his work, but it was a small price to pay for the man who raised him. After the Madarame arc, and during the early stages of Yusuke's confidant, we see him go into a creative slump. It's here that Yusuke encounters his next challenges with the structure of the art world, the biggest one being the marriage between money and beauty. Early on, Yusuke is almost stubbornly reckless with his art. He tries over and over again to grasp the nature of the human heart. You go from location to location trying to help Yusuke, and while there are some genuinely funny moments along the way, he exhibits a frantic lack of patience, which, incidentally, is one of the reversed meanings of the Emperor card. He's too set in his ways. Yusuke even lashes out at Kawanabe when he critiques his work. At this point, Yusuke is like a boy. He has little self-discipline, he's impulsive, he's stubborn, but he takes a moment to self-reflect, and the two of you decide to go back to where it all began, Madarame's house. In a quiet moment of self-reflection, something that a man would do, he contemplates if the man who raised him was really all bad. I really love this confidant scene because we know that Madarame was a bad person. Even Yusuke knows this. But it shows that his growth isn't linear, and it shows that he's still struggling to separate his childhood feelings from his adult feelings. That's when Kawanabe takes him under his wing, so to speak. He initially tells Yusuke that he's going to market him as a distraught artist trying to make a name for himself after being manipulated by his former mentor. Yusuke, naturally, is insulted by the idea. Rank 8 sees him really at his lowest in the confidant. He's unsure of himself, but does what any good ruler would do and consults those closest to him. That resolve carries him to victory in the art show. We learn that Kawanabe did all of this to light a fire under Yusuke's belly. He never intended to sell him on his story, but wanted to help foster his talents. And so, with the backing of the Japanese Art Support Foundation, Yusuke rejects the offer. Throughout this whole journey, he learned about the structure and order of the art world. He learned of its corruption, he learned of its greed, he learned of its inner workings, and after learning all of this, he decided that he would reject this structure in favor of his own set of rules. See, while the Emperor is in fact about honoring the systems of tradition and regulation, it is also about the masculine ability to create those very systems. It's about understanding a goal and setting a clear and defined plan to reach it. It's about finding a way to attain one's goals through thoughtful organization and methods. It's a very logical approach, and one that takes Yusuke quite a while to reach. He found his kingdom, but it's one that clashes with his current existence of the art world. And so, he creates a new one. One where beauty does not sell out to money, but rather earns it through merit. There is, of course, one last little bit that emphasizes this growth. We see Yusuke's deepest desire in the third semester. Despite seeing the revival of many different characters, we never actually see Yusuke's mother. We see exactly what he wanted, the real Sayuri getting the recognition it deserves, and his now humble, supportive mentor fostering his talents. Like I said earlier, it was always going to be tricky developing a character for the Emperor. Pretty much all of the main characters are rebelling against authority figures, but I don't think many of them go into deeper dives of the systems of authority like Yusuke's confidant. Even Madarame plays a critical part long after that arc is over. Yusuke's growth in understanding the constructs of the art world and eventual discovery of his own heart's desires is the culmination of his journey as the Emperor of Persona 5. Thanks for watching.